Hi, I'm Matt.
And I'm Tom.
And this is the Park Bench.
In the rain.
For the first time in a long time, and I'm keeping my hood up.
I'm not.
Then again, I think my coat's lost its waterproofness. It's not meant to soak in like that, is it?
I mean, you've got, you can't see it, but you've got waterproof trousers on that.
Yeah. It's raining, and it's going to be raining all day, and we were planning to be outside.
And I'm sitting on a plastic bag. So
I assume we're going to talk about the very fun thing you did recently. I don't know why I bounced that so much.
Yes, I got to fly with the Red Arrows.
How? Why?
Okay, so
Who rang who?
I mean, they rang me through a PR company.
Ooh.
Which is, so first of all, I need to thank literally everyone involved in this from start to finish. I also need to give an enormous plug, same as I did in the video, for the Starship project. So it is the RAF's 100th anniversary, and as part of that there is a STEM outreach program they're doing called Starship, which is about where the RAF might be in 100 years. Maybe they're sending a Starship to Mars or something like that. And it's all based around that. And as part of this project, I got a call saying, Tom, do you want to fly with the Red Arrows?
It's not a thing you say no to, really, is it?
No, it's not. And I should... So for folks who are, I don't know, who are outside the UK or who didn't grow up the same way we grew up, I kind of need to emphasise just how special the Red Arrows are.
They're the big, fancy aerial display team in the UK. And they are at every fancy event, but not in a... they're overused kind of way, but I mean like fancy events.
If you go to one of the big air shows, they will be the highlight. Like every single person at that air show will go, okay, well, we know the Red Arrows are here at this time, we'll go and see that. They do fly pasts for big events. They are part of popular culture here.
Yeah.
And they're also pretty much anonymous. I didn't realise this until talking to them, is that if you go into the RAF as a fast jet pilot, one of the things about the Red Arrows is no one knows who the Red Arrows are. I mean, they're on the website, but they're just, they're the team. There are 3 new ones recruited each year, 3 end their 3-year tour of duty every year. But no one knows the individuals, they are just the team.
I never thought of it like that. There are very few things where they're known as a collective, but then again, they're not in the public eye. The only time you see them is in the plane.
Yeah.
Well, no, but from the outside of the plane, from a distance.
Yes. And they don't do this sort of thing. And so I looked up the last time someone was able to pay to do this, because a few years ago they had a charity auction thing, and Flight with the Red Arrows went for £1.5 million to charity. That's okay. Yes, I think Lewis Hamilton, the Formula One driver, has got to do this at some point. I think a small number of people who are visiting dignitaries and the like have got. But you don't get a call from this is.
They certainly don't ask you.
This is not a dream come true. Because this isn't a dream. This isn't something that can happen. This is an impossibility. Yeah. I mean, do
you have anything more to say before I ask you some questions?
Go for it.
You hate roller coasters.
Yeah, I do.
And then you did the zero-G experience and you thought, actually, no, that was fine.
Yeah.
So you hate roller coasters and you went in a thing that makes you go... How was it?
It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. I never understood as a kid. On list of things I want to do when I grow up, fighter jet pilot was never in there.
Yeah.
It just didn't really consider that. And now I can absolutely see why people want to do this. I am aware that in order to become this kind of, but you would have to join the military. You would have to go. Like a lot of those folks have seen combat operations.
Well, yeah.
They're fighter jet pilots for the Air Force. But seeing and experiencing what they do, yeah, I want to be a jet pilot. Now, there's a little part of my brain that's got activated that normally gets activated when you're a kid. So I want to do that. Absolutely want to do that.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Don't you feel I thought you felt a little bit not full when a plane bumps about a bit.
Yeah.
Does that feeling not come through to the...
They're jets. They just bump the air out the way. Turbulence doesn't really seem to affect them.
So everything that you felt on that was a deliberate
Yeah.
And you were warned about it because that's
Yeah.
how they operate.
At no point did it suddenly feel like I was jumping off a cliff or going over a humpback bridge or anything like that.
Okay.
There was a lot of positive Gs, and I think they went easy on me. Like, there weren't any massive manoeuvres in there.
Yeah.
While we were setting up, while we're talking to them and everything pre-flight, one of the Reds comes up to me and while we're talking, oh yeah, well, I had to pull 8G the other day while we were testing stuff, and I've still got the burst blood vessels here.
Ugh.
Like, yeah, they didn't do that. I pulled about 4G at most. So shall I talk through the day?
Yeah.
It nearly didn't happen. First of all,
Weather?
the day we got there, I'm with film crew who've been provided. Team, are we? Yeah, okay. I'm with the film crew who have come along. I'm with the producer, everything like that. We get there, and it is the day that the beast from the east arrived. So the big storm we had, and it's snowing. And it turns out at RAF Scampton they do not have, which is the base, they do not have runway clearing equipment.
Yeah.
If the runway is frozen, the Reds cannot take off and cannot land.
Do they refer to them as the Reds rather than the Red Areas? Okay.
Yeah. I'm just about to pick that up.
You're just on first name terms with them now.
Really not. We get there, we get signed in, we park up and we get taken in the Red Arrows branded cars. Okay, fine. And someone says, yeah, it's maybe a 10% chance you're taking off today. And I'm simultaneously a bit relieved and a bit, oh, well, I'm just going to have to do this again later then, aren't I? We go in, okay, so footage. I will show you footage at this point, which is from the film crew. A lot of this will be appearing over on the Starship channel as well. So what you're going to see here is unedited, mostly ungraded footage. It's going to look rough and ready. That's just because that's what I've got given.
Yeah.
It will look better over on their channel. He says, continuing to plug the people who gave him a flight with the Red Arrows.
Go watch the video.
We get there. There is a canteen, little officers, pilot's mess. I don't get that joke.
Star Wars Cantina.
Cantina, no, canteen. Like, do you want a cup of tea? You want the post pictures that I feel you just keep giving. It's not a band there with 4 alien masks. So step 1 is medical. I need to be thoroughly checked out. The most important things are whether I will physically fit in the plane and whether my ears are clear.
Does that mean I couldn't even try?
Sorry.
Do you have to be what? Yeah.
So you're borderline. You're 6'4", right?
Yeah.
So it very much depends on which part of your body is which size. If you're long in the leg,
Yeah.
then in the event you have to eject,
Oh, it rips my knees off.
yeah, you just lose the lower part of your legs.
Yeah.
If you're long in body, then you're going to be okay if you just lower the seat a bit. And the answer is you don't know until they send the measurements.
Yes.
So I had to get measured.
I'm just going to excuse the rain falling on the microphone at the moment because there are some big globs and I think you might hear that.
All right. Enjoy the sound of rain. And the other thing is it's an unpressurized cabin. That's why I'm wearing the oxygen mask. Which means when you do a loop, you gain a lot of height.
Yeah.
And then drop a lot of height very quickly. You need to clear your ears at the top and the bottom, and if you can't do that, you're going to be in pain and you might burst an eardrum.
Yeah.
So literally, the team doctor looks in my ears with a light, checks that my eardrums are doing that clearing thing when I swallow or when I do that.
Yeah.
Go through all that and thankfully clear the medical. And just as I'm coming out of the medical, someone pops their head around the door and says, "Tom, you might be going up in an hour." There's a break in the weather. And from that point, I didn't have time to be nervous. Right, Tom, you need to get fitted for your flight suit. Okay. I also need to thank all the support crew who were lovely and who I don't like. Everyone involved. So yes, there are the pilots and there are the officers there, but there are also all the folks who work to keep the planes running and keep them fueled up and safe and maintained, and then all the folks who are in charge of all the equipment and just keeping everyone stocked up. I got fitted for a helmet, fitted for a flight suit, fitted for G trousers.
Oh, yeah.
There is no way to say this without it sounding ridiculous, but your trousers inflate. Even that bird's laughing. Your trousers are literally hooked up to a pressure point in the plane, and when the plane undergoes a high G manoeuvre, they grip on and push on all your legs to stop the blood going all the way through your brain.
Because all the G-force is trying to push it that way, and the only way to stop it going that way is just to grab you so hard that it can't fit.
It's a temporary tourniquet on your entire lower body. So, got fitted for that, everything like that. I've got the helmet, someone bothered to put my name on the back of it, which was nice. And
I saw the name badge.
Yeah, so someone had made and I don't know who that was, someone had made a Velcro name badge. There wasn't a Velcro patch on the flight suit, so one of the support crew literally Velcroed the other bit of the patch onto there. So I sewed with a sewing machine, the receiving bit of the Velcro patch on there, just so I could, I had a name badge.
Did you get to keep your suit?
No.
Did you get to keep the name badge?
Yes. In fact, is it still in here?
And we have with us tonight.
Yes, we do. There it is. I don't know if that's in focus, but I have an actual name badge with the Union Jack on it. Yeah. It is impossible to have a fitted flight suit on and not gain swagger in your suit. Like the crew, as we walked out of the plane, the film crew filmed the slow-mo badass walk, and it's impossible not to just be going, I am in a flight suit.
I would fully expect you to be able to do a slow-mo walk. I'm not so sure about the badass.
Yeah, we'll show the footage.
I assume you don't have to wear a parachute if you've got an ejector seat.
Oh no! Oh yeah, I skipped that. Right. So there is so we sit in on the Reds briefing, which is a long sequence of jargon. Like it's really impressive. But it's a series of this is the manoeuvres we're going to do. This is the meteorological data. This, and everyone's just there going yeah, and then they run through the manoeuvres.
Yeah.
Sitting there in the seats, they all count off as if they were in the air.
Yeah.
Run through what they're going to do. And
because
then
you need to know it.
Yeah, and then there is the passenger briefing, which is a PowerPoint presentation from many years ago and a video from the late 90s. Which is, some of it is, don't touch this, don't touch this. You will need to move these 2 pins to arm your ejector seat. And now, here is 20 minutes of training on your ejector seat. This is where, I know how an ejector seat works. I wasn't surprised by any of this. But it still brings home that you're in a military jet.
Yeah.
This is not designed for passengers. This is not designed for what is essentially a jolly out, like they're doing a training mission. If I screw this up, I am aborting a Red Arrows training mission. No. If I have any doubts, I don't get in the plane.
Yeah.
That's the important thing.
And the Red Arrows aren't civilians, they are the RAF.
They are
Royal Air Force.
Yeah, they're the best. They really are. And if anyone from the USAF Thunderbirds would like to disagree with that, my email inbox is open.
The comments are open. I think the comments are open.
I just mean if Thunderbirds would like to invite me
the physical Thunderbird. Yeah. I thought you meant anyone in the comments who wants to disagree.
No. The comments are happy to disagree.
But the actual Thunderbirds themselves.
If they'd like to show me what they can do, by all means.
And if you'd like to give me a go.
Yeah. So the ejector seat is brutal. If you have to eject from a plane, the rumour is, I haven't looked this up, I'll be honest, but the rumour is you end up an inch shorter for a little while.
Yeah.
Because you take off at 30 G and it crushes your spine.
Yeah.
You will end up with neck injuries and back injuries. You can get lethal injuries from that if you take off poorly. It pulls your legs in automatically tightly. That's why you need to fit in, because if you are too big, not all of you will exit the plane.
Yeah.
Sentences like, if we don't have command ejection here, so if you see your pilot leave the plane, you should follow.
Oh,
right, okay.
You should follow.
Yeah, if there is a heavy bird strike and your pilot is dead and not responding, you should eject. They don't have a chance. Like this is safe by military specifications, but that is still.
Chance of death is the default in the military.
Yeah. So I got 20 minutes of training on. Yep. This plugs in here. This plugs in here. Move this here. Don't pull that.
Yeah.
Unless you really need to pull that, in which case pull it. So yes.
Did you have flight controls in front of you?
Yes.
Did they let you have a go?
No.
Oh.
No. No. Do not touch the control stick. Just don't.
Does it? I assume it moves in tandem.
Yeah.
It'll be fly-by-wire, won't it?
Yeah.
So.
So the Hawk jets are 1980s.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's fly-by-wire or if it's direct control.
I said the wrong one.
Okay. Yeah. Also, don't touch any of the controls. You have backup controls for everything because the engineers for the planes sometimes take these seats. If you need to hold on to anything, hold on to those two struts there. They're not going to bother anything.
Were you allowed to clip your GoPros onto things, or were you holding it?
Yeah. No. Absolutely not allowed to clip a GoPro to anything in the plane.
In case it falls off and hits you in the head.
Yeah.
Or them in the head while they're flying the plane.
Yes, or hits a bit of the plane.
Yeah.
It has been done before. When the BBC did it with Lewis Hamilton, they essentially had a custom-made, extremely safe GoPro mount that was rated to last half an hour.
But they're the BBC.
Yes. I have a thing I'm holding in my hand because if I can feel if my arm's getting tired or I'm going to drop it or if anything's going wrong. And then when it comes to the landing or the takeoff, I can just stow it in my flight suit.
Yeah.
I'm good. If that mount comes off at 5G, it's going to kill me.
There's nothing you can do about it.
It's going to kill me or kill them or kill us both.
Yeah.
So, we walk out to the plane. Get in the plane, various technicians plug various bits of my suit into various bits of the plane. And a lot of the training, which was you need to do this, you need to do that, someone just said, sit down, we're going to do this for you. Okay, I'm good. Canopy comes down. Everyone has to turn away when the canopy comes down. I need to have a visor on because there is a minuscule but non-zero chance that if it shatters or a charge goes off in the ejector seat. Because the first thing that
with the ejector seat is the lid blows off, so then you don't get...
So everyone just has to turn away on the 1 in a million chance that might detonate. Oh, okay. That gets locked down. I move the pins on my ejector seat, and then we're on the runway. And I haven't had time to be nervous. And we take off in formation.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm worried. This is where my heart rate's spiking and the adrenaline's going because I don't know what this is going to feel like. This might be the worst roller coaster ride I've ever been on. And then we're in the air and it felt like a commercial jet taking off. Smooth as anything. It felt like it'd taken off in a plane. And then we're in the air. And then there's and you've seen the footage now, and there's planes around me. And I can hear the sort of metronomic voice, smoke on, now. Going right, now. And the G-forces are about 2.5 at this point, so the trousers are inflating. But I'm talking to the camera. Like,
So you can feel the G, but you can just still talk and operate normally
it's
the low stuff.
Rough. It's 2.5 G.
Did you have to do any clenching?
No, I didn't. Probably would have been better if I had. I also wish at some point I'd have put the camera down and just looked round at everything. But I've got a script to do. I've got a job to do, so I'm going to try and be professional and do it. We do a few manoeuvres. We do a banked turn around Lincoln Cathedral at like a couple thousand feet up. If you're ever in Lincoln, sometimes the red arrows just display.
Because it's the nearest town to...
It's where they train. Yeah. And then the two of the planes at the back drop off and go above the clouds. Yeah, and that was a bit.
Which plane were you in?
I was in one of those that went off because they were showing off. Like this was absolutely let's give them something.
Did you go cloud surfing then?
Yeah,
we went. Fun.
That's going to stay with me for the rest of my life. My pilot was Mike Bowden, who was just absolutely wonderful. And occasional check-ins. You okay in the back? Yeah, I'm fine. But other than that,
They're doing their thing.
Doing their job.
Yeah. So you just need to stay out of the way.
Yeah. It's like, okay, we're going to go for a loop now. Okay, that was 3G. That's when it started. Oh, that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot. Okay. But bear in mind, the last time I did a loop like that on camera, I was in a glider, and it was about 2G, and I nearly freaked out. I've got a lot better in the last couple of years. Like that, I can do that now. We did a loop, we did a roll, we rejoined the main formation, and then the very last thing is we come back in. Because at that point my stomach's a little bit... I'm not feeling ill, I'm just feeling tired.
Yeah. Like,
physically tired. Because it's essentially like someone has... I had 3 times the weight support quite a few times. But, so are we doing any more manoeuvres? Because I think I'm starting to reach my limit. He says there's one more, and it's basically about what we've done already. Mike, You are a great pilot, but I appreciate you not quite telling the truth there. But that final brake was about 4G, and I don't...
Oh, that's when they all bugger off.
The final brake, on camera, it's while Red One is describing emergency escape manoeuvres, and that's not what it is. It showed what... A brake is when you fly over the runway, and then each of them does... It's a dogfighting manoeuvre, which is up, side, and down.
But in slightly different variations so they don't hit each other.
And that's 4G. And that is rough. And I don't know if I've got the audio from that section or not. But that's the
find it.
That's the one
Please
time when
find
there's
it.
just this quite... if I have, I'll play it here. If not, there's just this quite from the back. Because that was... it turns out that while I would love to be a fighter pilot, that is, I think, about my limit.
Yeah. While you're being a pilot, you don't have to just experience that. You have to be doing the thinking and the driving.
Yeah.
Flying.
It turns out 3G I can keep my head on. 4G, I don't have the fusion shot of that because we were coming in for landing after that and I had to put it away, but I have the wrist-mounted
Oh, you were doing it
shot.
with the fusion as well?
Yeah. That's why the camera shots look weirdly smooth but shaky, is that the pans are done in post on the fusion. And
I didn't spot that, actually.
Okay.
I was watching it on my phone, but I didn't spot it.
The pans are done in post on the Fusion, but I'm holding it and the plane's wobbling a little, so...
Cool.
So that happened. And then we come into land, one at a time, all lined up on the runway. We come out, someone points a camera in my face after I'm disconnected, and I just don't have words. I do not have words.
It's one of those things that if I did that, the only words I would probably have would be swear words. and I'm not allowed to use them on cameras in most cases.
I am aware how privileged I am to have that flight, how lucky I was to get picked for that, how big a deal this was. And I still don't entirely have words. This was something really special. This was something that effectively money can't buy.
The amount of money it would require means money can't buy this.
Yeah, well, you can't hire the Red Arrows for a display.
Yeah.
You can't do that because giving the military money and saying come do a thing is a coup. Okay, this is... I'm struggling to find words for how special this was and how incredible. I want to do it again. I'm never going to get to do this again in my life. But I am... So I'm just going to repeat, thank you to literally everyone involved in this, from Mike Bowden, my pilot, all through the Red Squadron, all of the people behind the scenes who made it happen, to everyone on the Starship project, who I am again going to plug because, I might be doing some more stuff with the RAF.
Ooh.
But I'll save that for another time.
Seriously, he's in some videos on their channel. Go and watch them, because without that, he probably wouldn't have been able to do it in the first place.
It'd be nice to have some evidence, like, people have absolutely gone and...
and if you think you can beat that, and also invite me along too, then you know who to contact. And I'm serious about the invite me along too.